I watched Deadpool and Wolverine at the invitation of Disney and Marvel, and I'll be honest here, there were both positive and negative aspects. I'll be talking about everything with spoilers, so from now on it's at your own risk. This is the Cine Lovers channel, and now let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine, which is the third Deadpool film, completing a trilogy. However, it is the first film made by Marvel. If you're not from planet Earth and haven't heard the news, Disney bought Marvel and then Disney bought Fox, and Fox was shut down. Deadpool was with Fox, so the first and second Deadpool films were made by them. Now, after this merger, Disney ended Fox, and Deadpool 3, which is Deadpool and Wolverine, was made exclusively by Marvel and Disney. Well, this movie is full of comedy. I think it's the funniest of the three Deadpool films. Almost every scene has something funny, a line, or a scene that will make you laugh, and they poke a lot of fun at Disney's purchase of Fox. They really make fun of Fox. It was kind of a tribute, a thank you for everything Fox did. I'll talk more about this later. You can tell they went all out, really mocked Fox. As everyone knows, after Endgame, Marvel went through some not so great times at the box office. The audience didn't enjoy it much. There were a lot of failures for them, and they know this. So in this movie, Deadpool jokes about it all the time. There's even a scene where they say that after Endgame, it was all just losses. And Deadpool plays with this theme, because we already knew it too. But it's cool how Deadpool breaks the fourth wall, talking to the camera. It's a Marvel movie making fun of Marvel itself, so that part was really cool, and it happens throughout the entire film. They managed to balance this in an interesting way. They also talk about the fact that Deadpool is actually the Jesus of Marvel. Now he returns, after 6 years since the second film, but being the first film of his with Marvel to revive Marvel and boost the box office and the Marvel timeline. They did this on purpose, and it's going to work because the film is really good. It's definitely worth watching. It's funny, but there's much more to talk about, not just the comedy. I'll talk more about this soon. Continuing on this line, the film not only mocks Marvel's own timeline and Disney's acquisition of Fox, but also includes references to many other characters and films. Some appear, others are just mentioned, but it's not just Disney and Marvel characters and films. It spans across various studios. Even the Minions are mentioned, just to give you an idea. Batman is also included. So, it's really cool when they bring in these references from other studios, and it's nice that you don't expect them. For those who are wondering, Deadpool and Wolverine is rated for 18 and over. It has a lot of profanity, sexual content, and violence. So, I actually think it's the heaviest film in the trilogy in terms of language and scenes compared to the first and second films. Well, Deadpool retains the same personality. A lot of people were thinking, or rather a lot of people thought, that now that Deadpool was with Disney, his personality might change a bit. But no, as I just mentioned, it's the most violent 18-rated film of the three. So, you can see that there was no issue with Deadpool moving to Disney, because it didn't become more childish as many people were thinking. And Wolverine being in this film had a huge impact. Many people were also worried that Wolverine would only have a small role. Some thought Wolverine would be a minor character in this film, while others thought Wolverine would steal the spotlight and Deadpool would become a special guest. But no, they managed to balance both characters. Both were equally protagonists. I was happy about this because they really managed to make it work well. They brought in both characters, and neither overshadowed the other. On the contrary, they complemented each other and worked very well together. Make sure to like this video because there are special appearances that you wouldn't even imagine, and I'll talk about them shortly. This film deals a lot with the timeline. They even brought the TVA from the Loki series into this narrative, and since it involves time travel and travel between different universes and timelines, some things were left unexplained. We can deduce a thing or two, but since it's a film dealing with these themes, it should have provided a clearer explanation. It shows that Deadpool travels between universes. He starts in his own universe, which was Fox's universe until then moves to the Sacred Timeline universe where the Avengers reside, and he even interacts with Happy from Iron Man. However, it doesn't show how he transported himself to this other reality, to this different universe. universe. It shifts from his universe to the Avengers universe, which is a different timeline, but it doesn't explain how he did this. It leaves nothing clear, and there's no explanation about it. Maybe what could have happened is that he used that time machine he has in the second film, like a Ben 10 Omnitrix, which he uses to transport himself. It could have been that, but it wasn't shown, wasn't explained, and it was confusing. At the end of the film, after all that chaos, with one trying to crush the other's timeline and the other trying to blow up or erase the timeline, Deadpool returns to his original timeline with his friends in that timeline, which was where the film began, and Wolverine goes there too. However, if the entire film was about bringing Deadpool into the Marvel universe, including him being rejected by Happy as an Avenger, and then he ends the film in the original Fox timeline where he started, it becomes weird and confusing. He's in that timeline, and the entire film shows that Deadpool is the Marvel Jesus trying to bring Marvel back, including Deadpool into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is the sacred timeline. And he doesn't end up there. He ends up in his own Fox timeline. So it's confusing, because he could have ended the film in the sacred timeline. So can he transport to other timelines, like he did at the beginning of the film? Or was it a poorly explained plot hole? It's very confusing. I think that, since it's a film dealing with this kind of theme, it should have been much better explained. They should have studied the script of Back to the Future, which is about time travel. Back to the Future, in fact, is studied in various film and scriptwriting schools because of its amazing writing, where everything connects so beautifully. It stands out as a trilogy dealing with time travel without plot holes. It's not because it's my favorite movie that I'm saying this. It really is good. So it seems like they needed to study Back to the Future to handle this better. If the film had explained the time travel issue, which was poorly explained in these two moments, it would have been much better. It would have been much better because if the film is about that, specifically, the main theme is bringing Deadpool into Marvel. He himself talks about it and mocks it throughout the film. And then he ends up in another timeline. It was very strange. So it lacked that detail of explanation that would have elevated the film to another level much better. The film's soundtrack is amazing. I love the soundtrack. It even features The Power of Love, the song from Back to the Future, which is my favorite song. It also includes Grease, Madonna. The soundtrack is fantastic. They did an excellent job, and it fits perfectly. The way they included these songs in the film is great. Watch it. It's definitely worth it. Well, there's the void that's been shown in other Marvel productions. In this void, there are some special appearances that I'm sure you didn't expect. No kidding. I was invited by Disney and Marvel, and in the cinema, there were many critics, YouTubers, journalists, and the audience went wild. We were shouting in the cinema. It was so good. So let's talk about the special appearances. Chris Evans appears. Everyone thinks it's Captain America, but no. Marvel brought him back as the Human Torch from the Fantastic Four. For those who don't know, I think everyone should be aware of this by now, but he played the Human Torch in the Fantastic Four a while ago. They brought him back as the same character. Man, it was epic to see this scene in the cinema. It was so good. During the film, not just in the void, but throughout the film, Blade, Elektra, Gambit, and even Henry Cavill make a special appearance as Wolverine. The guy appears as Wolverine. They even poke fun at DC in this scene. The scene is quite brief, but no one expected it. It was really good. As for the other Deadpools, they also appear but don't have much relevance in the film. There's the little dog who is more important, and another Deadpool who is funny and adds to the story. But the rest, all the other Deadpools, only show up in a scene where they fight each other. It's a battle between the Deadpools, all the Deadpools against the original Deadpool and Wolverine. There's chaos everywhere. Then Peter, Deadpool's friend, shows up and everyone gets excited about Peter. That was it. It was a very quick appearance, And were there any post-credit scenes? Yes! There's a scene during the credits and a post-credit scene. The scene during the credits shows various behind-the-scenes footage from all or almost all of Fox's films. So there are clips from the Fantastic Four, other Wolverines, and more. It's another tribute to Fox. It was a special homage to all the films Fox has made, or almost all of them. It was a retrospective. After poking fun at the studio throughout the film, they did this tribute, and it was nice. The post-credit scene involves something that happened during the film. It's a funny scene from the movie that's explained in more detail in the post-credit scene. It's worth watching. I'll give you a heads up that the scene features the Human Torch, so make sure to check it out. The Hulk and Thor make special appearances, not in the post-credit scene, but during the film. It's very brief. If you blink, you might miss it, but just having them in there was totally worth it. We didn't expect any of this, and it was incredible. That's it. Go watch Deadpool and Wolverine, which is already in theaters. Come back and let me know what you thought, okay? Thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next video here on Cine Lovers.